Dzień dobry Państwu, jesteśmy w studiu Dziennika Gazety Prawnej na kongresie Cybersec w Krakowie, a naszym gościem jest pan Luigi Rebuffi, który jest sekretarzem generalnym Europejskiej Organizacji do spraw cyberbezpieczeństwa. Zapraszamy na rozmowę. Porozmawiamy o cyberbezpieczeństwie w Europie. Rozmowa będzie w języku angielskim. Good afternoon, Luigi.
Good afternoon.
In the beginning, I would like to ask you about the intent letter, because we are after signing some intent letter between Kościuszko Institute and European Cyber Security Organization. What this letter is about?
So this actually has been signed by EXO, the European Cybersecurity Organization, and the Kościuszko Institute, but this has been supported, as you saw, also by the Deputy Prime Minister of Poland. So it's really a strong signal to everybody the importance of this letter of intent has been given. With this letter, we have signed a cooperation to support the activities, the preparation and activities that will take place during the presidency of the Union of Poland in the first semester of 2025. In this activity, we are going to bring together a number of events, the stakeholders in events in Brussels, but also when needed around Europe, to show what is needed to be done in the cybersecurity areas, because there's still little understanding of the need of cybersecurity, both for the citizens, for the, let's say, for the national security, but also for the economic sector, what should be done, where we are going, and what Europe can be done with the initiative also of the Polish government.
So what should be done?
The list is very long because we are still understanding cybersecurity, how cybersecurity is evolving. You know, cybersecurity is relatively new domain with respect to other traditional domain, professional domain. So, and especially now where we consider that we have the artificial intelligence coming in, artificial intelligence is creating a completely new environment per se, but also linked to the possible cyber threat or the use of artificial intelligence against cyber threats. So all this in a complete evolution. We have to grow the cooperation among different countries, because a single country cannot fight against the different threats which are coming from everywhere in the world. So a single country has to grow in maturity, and Poland, I see for several years now, following Poland for several years, is one of the relatively mature country in Europe, and for this the cooperation with the Kościuszko Institute is very important. And with the Polish government is very important, because I think that you can really can really show the way for activities about investments, about implementation of regulation, about support to SMEs, and say out support to the economy, for the digital transition, for a safe digital transition, protecting against threats.
Okay, and what should be the role of European Cybersecurity Organization when it comes to these challenges, these goals? What you should do?
But that's exactly, we have been created 8 years ago to bring together the different stakeholders, public and private. So our is a public-private partnership, and the peculiarity of this is the fact that we look at European transversally to all the different sectors, which is challenging, but also the different communities in Europe. When you go to the countries, in a country, the different experts, they have quite good knowledge of what is happening in the countries. But very often they ask me what is happening in other countries, because this is the point. We have to bring together the different experts, the different needs, and to find some common solution across the countries of Europe. And this is part of our job.
You mentioned different countries, and I'm curious, what is your point of view for some red dots on the Europe map? when it comes to cybersecurity? Which country is the safest one, and where this cybersecurity issues should be addressed in a more appropriate way from your point of view? Is it Central Europe maybe more endangered because of war in Ukraine when it comes to cybersecurity, or whole Europe is a
Well,
threat area?
we always often say that there are no cyber border, because you can have an attack from East Asia coming to Europe everywhere. It is true that the countries which are close to the most sensitive area now, Ukraine, just to mention it, are those probably who see a certain number of higher attacks, cyber attacks, for different reasons. But I saw, as I know, I have a lot of friends in Italy, when soon after the invasion of Ukraine, there are a lot of attack also in Italy because of certain declaration of the Italian government. So it's not only the border country which have an impact, but also all around Europe. And depends on the level of engagement, it depends on the level of maturity, because certain countries are weaker or less mature than others, so they are the entry door to have to Europe, and then this could have repercussion on all across Europe. You know, is the story of the weakest part of the chain.
And which part of chain is the weakest now?
Well, it's a bit sensitive to give an answer, but indeed there are differences in the difference of maturity in the country and in the different countries of Europe. And this is exactly where we try to work. Sometimes there are criticisms because Europe is not doing as well as the US or other countries, but you have to consider that we are still very fragmented. And one of the big efforts we're doing today is to grow maturity possibly all together. Not maybe at the same level, but we have to grow in maturity on cybersecurity, realize that cybersecurity a cyber attack can really damage the country, can damage the economy, and each one of us.
And is this one of the goals for Polish presidency when it comes to cyber issues, for example?
Well, there are a number of goals that the Polish presidency will have, but of course, and especially one of the goals is, well, you see the present situation is maybe more complex in the past years. We are now discussing more and more about cyber defense for obvious reasons. And so, but this was a topic that was difficult to be discussed at common European level, but now it's more and more important that Europe is becoming, have some tools to defend and to defend itself about the cyber attack, not only on security, but really on defense against major attacks or crises.
And the last question is about European elections. We are after these elections, and I'm curious, how do you assess the level of cyber safety, cyber security during these elections?
Well, I'm not specialist in the domain, but I'd say that
because we are
the
in election
situation-
year,
yes,
we have many elections.
Yes, we have many elections all
Yes.
around the world,
So
and
this
indeed,
is-
one of the things that I've witnessed from the beginning is the step change that we had in the interest of cybersecurity since the election of Donald Trump in 2016. Before that election, November 16, there was a mild interest in cybersecurity. Then the political world, the economic world realized that the influence that fake news or other kind of influence on the media or the perception of those who are going to vote, it's important. So cybersecurity can better control this influence, in theory. On the other side, we've seen that with the time, the technology has evolved. Now we have not only fake news, we have deep fakes, and the artificial intelligence is even more important. This evolution of technology, and the tools we have to counter this are maybe not, or even the regulation, the the measure that we are taking are maybe not so fast as the evolution of the technology. So indeed, it is an issue, and I don't expect it will decrease with the time. And so for this reason, we have to increase the awareness of the decision maker, economic, political decision maker, but also of the citizens, to listen to a variety of media to understand where can be found, I don't want to say the truth, but balance. A balance across the different information they receive.
Thank you for our interview. Gościem dziennika Gazety Prawnej był pan Luigi Rebuffi, który jest sekretarzem generalnym Europejskiej Organizacji do spraw cyberbezpieczeństwa. Dziękujemy.